Hey, brother.
Hey, Al.
And welcome everyone back to another episode of Siblings in Crime. I'm Allie Rossell.
And I'm Blake Murphy.
And just as it sounds, we are siblings who love true crime.
Yes, love it.
Love it. This last 10 days, I was on a cruise. I've been a little MIA. And this week was your birthday.
Yep.
Big 31. That's so exciting.
Yep.
Do anything fun?
Dinner with friends and family.
Very nice.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Just chilled.
Good. Well, it was a busy last few weeks, so I had to adapt because usually I like to spend some time to be able to research and make sure things are pretty factual, but because I wasn't able to do that this week, this episode is going to look a little different than usual.
Yes.
So, Blake,
Yep.
going to this week's case,
Yeah.
do you think you are a fight, flight, or freeze kind of guy?
Fight.
Actually,
Fight.
be so for real.
Fight.
Really?
I don't know.
I guess you don't really know until you're in the situation.
Yeah.
That's for sure. We have kind of like an ongoing joke in our family from when I was a kid. I guess, was it like that, like their first time leaving us by ourselves, or why were they even asking us? But for
I really don't know
whatever
what you're talking about.
for whatever reason, our dad asked, like, what are we going to do if somebody breaks in, if there's bad guys? And I guess at the time I said, we fight them. and I wish I could keep that enthusiasm up to this day. But since then, I realized my legs go completely numb when I'm scared. Isn't that so weird? Like, even if it's like a presentation, anything, I lose feeling in my legs.
You're a freeze type of person.
So I think I'm a freeze, and I pray I'm not, but I just don't know because I've never been in that situation. But that's going to come up in this week's episode. So, on Siblings in Crime, we are going to be diving into a theme that's equal parts both terrifying and kind of like a cautionary story. We're talking break-ins. First, we'll be reading 2 unsettling Reddit stories, and then we'll kind of go maybe into our own story of when we were kids to be able to kind of show how eerie and how personal it can be, but we'll make you think of how safe is your home truly. So that's what we're going into this week. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's roll. We will keep the names anonymous of these Reddit stories because I didn't email them and ask them if we can use it. However, it is on a public site, so I hope that they will not mind if the time comes that they ever come across this someday. But let's jump into our first post. It quotes.
Are you wearing gray socks?
You have an issue with that?
This looks funny. I've never seen you in gray socks with shoes. I don't know.
Jerk. All right. Now that you're done judging my outfit, you ready?
Yeah. Let's roll.
All right, let's go into this first post. She says, or he, I actually don't know, says, they said, I was in bed asleep at 7 a.m. when I heard a loud bang. I thought nothing of it because of the large cat tree I have downstairs.
Cat tree?
Cat tree. You know those, like, I imagine those big yarn thingies or whatever that they scratch?
So she's a cat woman.
It might be a boy. But this story
That's
leads
a
me
girl.
to believe it's actually a boy.
Oh, really?
But I don't know for fact, so we're going with it. He says that cat tree downstairs always gets knocked over. He says, so I rolled over and tried to go back to sleep. Not long after, my elderly cat comes running into my bedroom, jumps on...
Utterly?
Elderly?
Oh, elderly.
Not long after, my elderly cat comes running into my bedroom, jumps up on the bed, and tries to hide under the blankets. This immediately woke me up because that old fat cat hadn't ran nor jumped on our bed for years. As I came to, I see 2 men coming up my stairs.
Uh-oh.
At that point, it felt like time stopped and somehow ran incredibly fast at the same time. I jumped out of bed and started screaming, get the F out of my house. And I remember thinking while chasing these guys through my house and screaming again and again at the top of my lungs that my voice sounds like my brother. And I wondered how strange that was. Interesting thought to have when you're chasing down intruders. He said, I tackled one of them on my front lawn, but he struggled free and got away. I saw the getaway car and tried to keep repeating the license number over and over, but it faded away in my mind as I was repeating it. I remember vividly being so mad at myself that I couldn't remember 7 numbers and how stupid I was for not grabbing my phone. Looking back on the situation, there are so many things that happened that I never noticed, like how I fractured my arm slamming into the wall at the bottom of my stairs, and that I cut my feet up on the splintered wood of my front door. The adrenaline rush of a true fight or flight situation is something so strange, it's almost impossible to accurately describe. The sense of time, not being aware of pain and injuries for hours, and the hyper focus on some details but the complete loss of others. Luckily, I wasn't seriously hurt or nothing was stolen, but I installed cameras all over my house the next day. So the comment section, they're like all talking amongst themselves about what they would do in that situation. And one person goes on to say that they were talking to their dad, and I guess like at the time they got the advice like you hide, you call 911, whatever. Don't put yourself in a riskful situation. And this commenter says, all pretty good advice for a kid my age, especially with the cell phone these days, obviously. But he goes on to say that he went on to ask his dad what he would do if somebody broke into their house. And he writes, as I asked, he gave me this smile and told me to close my eyes. He said, imagine me standing in the hallway naked and telling you to get out the F out of my house. Would that scare you if you saw that in a stranger's home? End quote. And surprisingly, many comments are like, yeah, like if you're naked chasing this guy down, like they're going to get out of your house. And everyone's talking about screaming and yelling. Could not be me. I cannot imagine. I would be so scared to try and chase a bad guy down. I don't know. That's why I brought the fight, flight, or freeze. In this situation, it worked for them that they were able to chase this guy out of the house.
I feel like most people breaking in are trying to go when you're not there. So if you're there, it scares them and they run anyways.
That makes sense. So you're saying
they don't want to get caught. They're just trying to take something.
Yeah, you hope. You gave us a stat last week.
Hope. Yeah, it was a low percentage of people that actually are violent.
Yeah, what was it, like 7 or something?
It was like 42. I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh!
I'm just kidding.
That is so high.
I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, so it seems like a low percent. So it seems like maybe chasing someone down might actually work in this situation. I tell that story first as one tactic that people use, but this second Reddit story is a little darker. Which, right off the bat, I was like,
Jim
crap.
and Jerry?
Yeah. Right off the bat, I was like, oh gosh, I'm not going to remember anyone's names. Yeah, so we got the girlfriend, or boyfriend, I'm assuming girlfriend, but the writer, the boyfriend Jay, and then the friends Jim and Jerry that they're staying with. Says, Jeremy had left the apartment an hour.
Jeremy? You just said Jerry.
Jeremy. No, we got Jay is the boyfriend.
Jerry.
Jim and Jeremy.
You said Jerry. Bro.
No, I did not.
Yeah, you did.
Roll it back. Jim and Jerry. This writer says, my boyfriend Jay and I were staying with 2 friends of his, Jim and Jeremy. It's tough.
You say Jeremy so weird.
Jeremy.
I don't know.
We got Jay, Jim, and Jeremy. Makes it tough. Jeremy had left the apartment an hour or so before Jay and I decided to go to bed. That's what this writer writes. A few minutes after Jay fell asleep, I heard a knock on the door and Jim answered it. Turns out it was Jeremy. So Jeremy left, came back. But he wasn't alone. 2 guys that also live in the apartment building forced Jeremy to knock at the door so they could force their way in as he didn't have his keys with him.
Whoa.
I feel like I hear that ruse. I've heard that before where you're using people you know to get into a house to force an entry. And that's one thing that
Spooky.
Yeah, that's why they always say, like, check the windows, check the peepholes, all this stuff. Like, don't just open your door. Mm-hmm. They said once...
Check the cameras.
Yeah.
Now that we have cameras.
Yeah, now we're super equipped. Mm-hmm. They say once they were inside, I could hear what sounded like a scuffle from where I was in the bedroom with the door closed. I woke Jake up, and all of a sudden we hear 2 unknown voices yelling, get down, get the F on the ground.
Jeremy and Jay and the other person, they're all roommates?
It sounds like they're just staying at their friend's house. So I don't think
they
writer and the
back?
Boyfriend Jay don't live there.
Oh, they're staying there.
They're staying there. They're visiting. Yeah, and then Jeremy left, came back with these 2 different guys, and now there's a scuffle.
Now there's 4.
Downstairs. Yeah, 4. we got Jeremy, Jim, and 2 strangers, and then
Jim's there too now.
Jim was never left. Oh my gosh. Jim never left. Jeremy left, came back. Jim answered the...
He should use the key.
Yeah, he didn't have the key. So that's why Jim answered the door.
Oh, okay. All right.
Are we together?
Yeah, I think.
Okay, I know. I knew it was going to be hard with these names.
Everyone will have these questions.
True. Okay. Jay wanted to go see what was going on because they were still in their bedroom. But she writes, I begged him to stay in the bedroom with me, which he did. After what seemed like a couple minutes of arguing and fighting sounds, everything went absolutely silent. We opened the bedroom door to see Jim laying on the ground with what we later found out to be a barbed machete sticking out of his chest.
Jeez.
Jeremy.
This apartment complex is intense.
Yeah. Jeremy was the one who was forced to come back. He was calling 911. So the two strangers have left. The apartment building didn't have a buzzer to let anyone into the building, so when the police got there, Jay let them in and showed them the suite they were living in. After that, they separated us all and put the three of us into the back of 3 different police cars, where they left us while the paramedics tried to save Jim. Unfortunately, they weren't able to save him. He died at the apartment. I knew he was dead when the paramedics wheeled him out to the ambulance, but didn't leave for at least 5 minutes without working on him at all. The police took us to be questioned, again keeping us separated the entire time. About 12 hours later, they were ready to let us go, but told us we were not allowed to go back to the apartment as it was now an active crime scene. This is an interesting take because you never really think about like the witnesses and the people that live at the house or whatever, and I like to hear this perspective because this is from like the witnesses, obviously, perspective. Turns out that you obviously just can't go back to the house. So this is what she says that they did. She says, we were dropped off by the police at a coffee shop with no money, phones, or wallets, or even shoes on our feet, as they wouldn't let us take anything from the apartment before they put us in the police cars before being questioned. They write, we ended up going to a friend's house where we stayed until we were let back into the apartment 4 to 5 days later. That's interesting. Once we were finally allowed back into the apartment, the first thing I had to do was clean up the blood, which I'm sure you can imagine was pretty hard to handle. It was pretty traumatic. And the comments went on to discuss how it's crazy that you don't really hear that side of the story where they were just like kicked out of the house. They had questions. They didn't have their phones, wallets. They didn't have anything. Weren't allowed to go get it. And on top of that, they get back to a crime scene that they are responsible for cleaning up. Mm-hmm. That is heartbreaking. Obviously, there's companies that go and clean crime scenes. And in this situation, I guess that they did it themselves.
Jeez.
Isn't that so scary?
Yeah. One time, this guy I know, he like is on Adderall, and he went to Mexico to get cheap Adderall. He brought it back, and he sometimes brings it for their people, I guess. Mm-hmm. And the cops or the border patrol noticed him and arrested him, and he had Adderall and he got arrested and had to go to jail for the night.
In Mexico?
Yeah, no, and in the U.S. when he's coming back. And we were like all just hanging out because we were roommates. Didn't know him very well, but we were
You're like, I promise we're not that affiliated.
And yeah, we're like, where is this guy? And then we found out he was like in jail somewhere.
No way.
And then he finally got out, but they like confiscated his car for a while because they wanted to search it and everything.
Yeah, makes sense.
Eventually he got it back, I think, but I think he had to get a lawyer for it and stuff.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Like, I always think about that too. Like that sucked. You like.
I never really thought about that.
Now you don't have a car for a while.
Yeah, I've never really thought about that. Like, what do you do in that situation when you're left with literally nothing? And like his case, he was the one arrested. But in like this specific story, they were just there and they didn't have any other stuff. And in the comments, this person was very open about what happened and their experience. Turns out what happened is that they end up catching these murders 2 weeks later. One guy got 6 years and the other guy got 8 years. And that's it. Wow. Yeah. And this writer was told that the murderers were looking for money and they're trying to get quick drugs. And that's why they came in and broke into stuff. See, like, this is the kind of stories that scare me because you say it's a really low percentage that people break in if you're home. But in this case, it obviously didn't matter. They brought weapons and they were looking for anything. So
maybe it's a good idea to keep some money in your house, because then you can be like, take my money.
I guess. I don't know.
If you don't have any, they probably get mad.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we don't know how the conversation went with these people and if they even had the conversation. But that's the thing. In this case, it doesn't sound like chasing them out, screaming like to get the heck out of your house is going to be beneficial. They literally had a machete. Mm-hmm. How terrifying!
Sounds like a different country.
I wouldn't know.
Machete's random. Yeah,
it is pretty random. I don't know what country. I assumed the United States, but it's Reddit, so it could be anywhere.
Yeah.
So in this case, it seems like maybe it would have. Like obviously, Jim and Jeremy were stuck in this situation. They couldn't just like get away and call 911. But I mean, I imagine it's good to have some sort of weapons in your house. I keep bear spray by my bed. I am loyal to the bear spray. And I think I was talking to you about it, but there's like those guns now that aren't like actual guns, but they shoot like pellets and then on impact they're like pepper spray. And I feel like, I feel like that's genius. Because then it's like it's a safer option. And I feel like
don't kill them.
Yeah. And for me, I feel like I would not spend as much time needed at like a shooting range to be proficient with my firearm if I was
do the same thing. You're trying to shoot them as well.
Yeah, but that's like sprays. I can just aim anywhere and be in the direction. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to be like handling a literally fatal weapon like a gun in my house, especially like not. I'm sure this would be very bad for kids, but still a better option than if you have kids in the house, you know, than a gun. So I don't know. Don't pull on the spring again. So, anyways, the reason we're telling these stories is because to be aware, and it's more of a cautionary thing of different options on how you can avoid.
I think the best is just hide and call 911.
You think? Just out of safety or what?
Yeah. Just out of safety, and like most people are just trying to find some stuff. So if they're in your house finding some stuff and then the cops come, they run away.
And
most people aren't trying to find you and kill you or something. Yeah. Which would be good to have the cops on their way too, not appear in front of the person.
That's like our first story. Yeah, perfect. That worked out well. Yeah, that's like the first story where he's like, I'm mad I didn't even think to grab my phone. I'm like, that's why it makes me think it's a guy. My first thought is not, I'm going to chase this guy down and tackle him. Like, that makes me believe that maybe he's a stronger dude.
Or he's, I don't know.
I can't imagine the adrenaline that gets pumping. Mm-hmm. You probably would do anything.
One time, like last winter time,
winter time?
Yeah.
Last year?
Yeah. I heard some stuff outside and I was like, what is that noise? And I looked outside.
Scary.
And the people put up the Christmas lights were back at like 11 p.m. like fixing it. They had the ladder up and they were walking up. And I was like, what the heck? Why are they here at 11 p.m.?
They're on your
They scared
your house?
me. Yeah, they're on the house fixing something. I was like,
I'd probably cry. I'm so quick.
Because I looked at and I saw someone walk by. I was like, oh, freak, there's people outside. Okay, and then I look again. Reaction?
Were you like, should I call somebody?
Well, I kept trying to look. And then I looked over again and then I saw the ladder and I was like, are they working on the Christmas lights again?
Hilarious.
Freaking.
That's so funny. Well, that leads us actually, I wanted to tell our own personal story. Just for fun, just to get it out there, just because it has to do with burglary. After this week's story, we'll go back into our normal siblings in crime cases of all the different types of crime.
Remember, we're doing a live coming up.
Oh my gosh, I'm so scared of lives.
For all 2 people that will watch it, maybe.
We can get our mom to watch it, probably.
I know. I said Mom,
Brett,
and Brett.
Woohoo! Yeah, so stay tuned for that. But this story is our last one. I just want to tell it, and because it goes with our theme. But we were, how old do you think? I was probably in elementary school, probably 8.
Probably both were in elementary school.
You think you're in elementary school? Yeah, we're younger. And I think this was during time, this was like, how old were we then? Or what year was that? If I was 7 or something.
This doesn't matter the year. I
want to figure it out. We're going, anyways, it's this, just to see. It's like
Let's say you're 5 and I was 9. Or you're 6 and I was 9.
Okay. So anyways, I was about 6. And keep in mind, up to this point, our parents were keeping us in the same bedroom all growing up. I imagine they're trying to make us be friends or something. So we're sharing a room up until this exact day. We had friends over, or family friends over. All I remember is our dad wanted us to hang out with these people, and I was super sick. And so my mom gave me NyQuil and I was able to go to bed early. But this is the very first night that I was in my brand new bedroom that I was so excited about. And to have a better idea of the layout, our hall like curves. And so the room we've always stayed in is like the middle of the hallway. And then I was moving to the end of the hallway. So the layout is completely different of the bedroom. Like the door is on the wrong side, all this stuff. So I get NyQuil, and I go to bed way earlier than everybody else. I'm out, first time sleeping, and because, I don't know, I'm sleeping by myself in my own room now, my dad thought it was a good idea where he got these sticky alarms that you stick to the window. And the idea being if someone was trying to push on the door, if it's like wiggling, then it would fall off and have your own bedroom alarm sound. So I'm sleeping. It's pitch black in our room. All of a sudden, I wake up to this screaming sound of an alarm going off. And I'm already panicked. I hear this alarm. It's like so loud. It's so high pitched. I'm running around the bedroom and I cannot find the door for the life of me. I'm running into walls. I'm running into dressers. I cannot figure it out because I'm in this new bedroom for the very first time. I finally get to the door. I'm already crying probably at this point, and I start running down the hall towards my parents' bedroom. Then I start screaming because my dad came around the corner. I see this man. It freaks me out. And so he tells me it's fine, whatever, go to his room, and he was going to go check the bedroom to make sure everything's fine. So I run to the bedroom, jump on the bed. My mom's there to hold me, and I'm like crying. I'm scared. I feel like someone was trying to break into my window. And then I see a figure pop up on the other side of the bed, and I scream. I swear, and I'm like screaming. Someone's in our house, and it's Blake, who had fallen asleep on the floor of our bedrooms, or our parents' bedroom. And I was bawling, and now he's laughing, so now I'm mad too. And I have every extreme emotion besides joy. I'm crying, I'm sobbing, and now Blake is there. And so we all jump on my mom's bed. And we're waiting for my dad to come back. So he comes back, and he's trying to like comfort us or whatever. This is like 2 minutes has passed. And then the entire house alarm goes off. And our house alarm is terrifying. It's like, burglar, burglar, you violated. It's like screams at you.
Burglary, burglary, burglary. You have violated an area protected by a security system. Leave immediately. Burglary, burglary.
So I'm like, 100% someone's breaking in. They're coming in. They're trying to kill us. I panicked. Dad goes to his closet and grabs a shotgun, which scares me even more. I was like, oh my gosh, we're getting in a firefight. Like, this is going down. And our mom calls 911. And it doesn't take long for the cops to show up. And they do a sweep and everything. And I'm still convinced to this day someone's trying to break in. What they tell us is that after their sweep, that they think the brand new sticky alarms on our window just happened to fall off, lost its stickiness, which seems odd to me, the very first use of it. And then they say it's just a coincidence that the whole house alarm was tripped not long after, and that it was something with the system, not because of a break-in. Which, keep in mind, that has never happened before, and it hasn't happened since. So we've never had issues with our house alarm. So that seems weird. In my book, someone was trying to break in. Do you think the same?
I don't know, I guess.
You have to think the same. That was so scary. That was like that night traumatized me, and I haven't been able to sleep the same. No. I remember we didn't have to go to school that day because this happened at like 2 a.m. or something, and so I was excited to like sleep in. But mind you, I don't think I ever slept in that room again. I moved right back into your bedroom, and then you ended up going to the end of the hall. And every time I visit, I stay in my old childhood room, and I'm still in the middle hall now instead of the far end. But that's
scared.
Yeah, I was too scared. That's why I sleep with bear spray every night now. Mm-hmm. But that is our own little story of our own personal experience of potential attempt to break in. See, that's what makes me think that I would not do on that situation. But I was also 6 years old at the time. But anyways, it's terrifying. It's funny now to think about it because we always joke that Blake scared the crap out of me by jumping up on the other side of the bed. That's still funny to think about. But it could have been a much worse situation. and I'm grateful it was not. So be safe, be smart. Now we have, I guess I should add, more recently, our mom was actually in town, and she swears that somebody was tapping on her bedroom window. And so now we are fully equipped. Here's our ad for ADT. Is that the letters? I'm dyslexic.
Yeah.
ADT. Yeah, so fully equipped. Cameras at every angle. Alarm system set. No one's getting into our house anytime soon. That's for sure. So be safe, be smart. Have your cameras. Have your cell phone nearby. Bear spray is a great idea. Whatever you got to do to stay safe. And that is going to be our cases. I guess it's not really a case. Our episode this week of Breaking and Entering. Now, brother. What about Buckeye updates and or true crime news?
Buckeye updates. We played Washington at Washington. Beat them pretty easily. They were a good team. They were supposed to have one of the best offenses, and we held them to 6 points. It was awesome. We didn't have a lot of possessions. The game was kind of weird, but we beat them 24-6, so it was great.
Very nice.
Now for true crime news. There's actually some really weird ones on here.
Ooh.
Yeah. So first one is a mother and daughter allegedly kidnap a romantic rival and push her off a cliff to her death.
Wait, pause, questions.
Yeah.
A mother and daughter. Yeah. Who is this rival? For the daughter? For the mom? What's the relation?
I think it's just like
the
girl probably is dating the person that the other girl likes or something.
That is odd.
Yeah.
I'm always confused about moms who get so involved in their daughters' relationships and personal life. I've heard many true crime stories of moms getting very heavily involved.
Yeah.
Off a cliff is so terrifying.
I know.
Where was that located? Do we know?
It doesn't say. Somewhere with the cliff.
Probably West Coast.
All right, next one
Okay.
is a Colorado man accused of robbing and killing his roommate, then telling people he died of pneumonia.
What the heck?
Happened in Colorado. 43-year-old man is on suspicion of killing his roommate in 2022 and telling people he died of pneumonia. To September 25th, 2022, detectives respond to a field after a property owner discovered human remains in a shallow grave. And the autopsy says that he died of blunt force, sharp force trauma and was ruled a homicide. And the victim was later identified as Steven. He was originally from South Carolina, but moved to Pueblo in 2017.
That always confused me because I'm surprised the family's not like,
yeah,
where's the death certificate and the hospital information, and that's very odd.
But
that's sad, scary.
Robinson, the man, Stephen, had been living with Leon, who, when he died, allegedly Leon told the victim's friends and the landlord that Stephen died from pneumonia. Investigators allege that Stephen remains were buried on the property owned by one of Leon's family members.
That's very suspicious.
Yeah.
Incriminating.
Leon then is accused of withdrawing $75,000 from Stephen's bank account.
Wow. That's so sad.
And he's in jail. It's a pretty crazy one.
That's really sad. Do people die from pneumonia all that much anymore? I feel like I don't really hear about that.
I think so. They're like weak.
That's so sad.
All right. So Florida man
Classic.
allegedly ate his pet peacock because his neighbors kept feeding them.
Wait, pause. I misunderstood. I think I misunderstood.
Why?
Tell me again.
A man is allegedly killed his pet peacock over a disagreement with the neighbors because the neighbors were feeding them.
I still don't understand.
That was a good one.
Wait, he killed his own peacock
Yeah.
because the neighbors were feeding the peacock?
Yeah, say he killed the two of his pet peacocks because she continued feeding them.
That is such a confusing statement.
I know. That's Florida for you.
That's funny. Dang. People are up to weird things these days.
Yeah. I think that's it for right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pick up again next week.
Thank you, everyone,
All right.
listening.
Yes, that's all we got for this week. I know it's a shorter, different type of case. We'll be back with our normal type of cases next week on Siblings in Crime. Thank you very much.
Thank you.